Hey, what the hell's going on, you guys? It's Super Player NegativeAE, and welcome back to another episode of When They Cry. Not too much to say here. We're just going to continue with the same questions we had in the last episode, and see if something maybe happens to Shion by the end of this. We'll see. I knew we wouldn't be doing any club activities after school today before Mion even said anything. I'd been invited over by Shion for an all-you-can-eat dessert. Made a point of leaving half my lunch uneaten. My expectations would only be rivaled by my hunger. This statement confuses me a little bit, because does that mean that she canceled club activities, or that I said no so I could go to the thing? I guess it was obvious. Rena had questioned me with a happy look. Not obvious she can read your mind. That's right, why don't I invite Rena for dessert as well? No, if I recall correctly, Shion said something about having a ticket. At worst, the restaurant might be admission by ticket only today. If that was the case, then having Rena be turned away at the door would result in the worst feeling ever.
ちょっとしたラッキーでさ、明日報告してやるよ。レナ、きっと羨ましがるぜ。
Dude. I wonder what Rena would think of the uniforms at Angel Mort. They'd definitely be a critical hit.
多分かなり可愛いかも。
へえ、どんな幸運に恵まれたのやら。あれ？ひょっとして2月くらい前にエンジェルモートで三角くじとか引いた？それに当たった？
おいおい、俺は2月前にはまだ転校してきてないぞ。
ああ、そっか。じゃあエンジェルのデザートフェスタでもないし。みーちゃん、エンジェルのデザートフェスタって何かな？ほら、沖宮の駅前の正面にエンジェルモートっていうファミレスがあるじゃない？あそこではね、季節の変わり目に新デザートのお披露目イベントをやるんだよ。それが今日でね。あ、言っても無駄だよ。くじ当選者以外は入店できない貸し切りデーだから。
Mion explained once again what Shion had explained to me last night.
レナも今度からお店に通ってみよう。頑張ってくじを当てて次のデザート食べ放題を狙うの。頑張れ。ちなみに聞いた話だと、当選くじはマニア垂涎のプラチナチケットで闇では高値で取引されてるなんて噂が。
Wow, that voice line lasted a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. Hearing that story, I felt even more appreciative of the ticket that Shion had procured for me. I just thought I was lucky to be able to eat dessert for free, but it turned out that that ticket was much more valuable. The number of things I had to thank Shion for had increased again.
ありがとな。そんなに価値があるものなんて俺全然知らなくて。
Whispered in a voice only Mion could hear. That was how I conveyed my feelings. Thank you, Mion. Mion looked at me for a moment before she tilted her head to the side and smiled confusedly.
何？なんか言った？
It would be a problem if you said something to me right now. What? What? Keiichi. Just... I guess Mion wouldn't be accepting my gratitude unless while she was Mion. Get out of here with that. I'll go to the restaurant. Today I'll thank Mion while she's Shion. Get out of here. It's definitely another person. Well then, this old man will take his leave here. Mion waved her hand energetically as she left. Shut up, Rena. Don't talk to me, Rena. Also, where's your freaking quotation? Rena was pretty sharp when it came to these types of things. To me, Mion had seemed the same as always, but Rena apparently felt something was different.
ケイチ君は 知らないのかな、てっきり知ってるのかなって思って。
And his skirt fluttered as she spun around with a coy smile.
知ってるって俺が何を？
I was obviously weaseling my way out of the question, but I wasn't lying. Honestly, I didn't really know what was going on. Why did Shion, a persona of Mion that she'd created, appear before me? Something was blatantly up, but Rena paid no attention, paid it no heed.
そっか、じゃあ何なんだろうね。
Really? I wonder what it is then.
でもみーちゃんが機嫌いいとレナも嬉しいよ。
When Michan is in a good mood, so is Rena.
はう。
I always talk when they already have said the thing. Saying that, she spread her arms wide and spun around happily. Like I need to get used to just not reading it. I don't know why, but Rena was always in a really good mood. It was so infectious that I had to smile too. Even the chirping of the cicadas seemed joyful.
でもね、
Okay, Higurashi, I
み
hear
ー
you.
ちゃんね、つい最近ね、すごく傷つけられたの。
傷つけって、え？
The pain that Rena was talking about probably wasn't
は
physical.
じめはあまり気にしてないふりをしてたけど、怪我と同じ。だんだん腫れてきた。じんじん腫れてきた。とうとう痛みがこらえられなくなって、夜中に目を覚ました。そしてレナに電話してきたの。みーちゃんは泣いてた。
ごめん。それ何の話だよ？
何の話？え？レナは今何か話をしてたのかな？
Okay. Uh-huh.
おい、そんなとぼけ方するなよ。今レナは。
知らない。レナは何も知らないよ。
Okay.
はう。
Rena spun as she laughed innocently. Eventually, she appeared to get sick, stumbling as she steadied herself with her hand against the wall.
目が回って。
バカだな。調子に乗ってぐるぐる回ってるからだよ。
ごめん。はあ、気持ち悪いかも。
I'll lend the ditz a shoulder to lean on. To be stumbling around like a newborn fowl at this age is actually quite a feat. Rena, in a good mood, only babbled incoherently after that. I laughed as I responded and chided her. However, the chance to revisit that heavy topic Rena had brought up before never arrived. Okay. As soon as I got home, I tossed my school bag and changed in a hurry. The effects of only having a light lunch were starting to show, as my stomach began to let out fickle growls. Alright, let's go. To Angel Mort. It's time to face the land of endless desert. Preparations for battle are complete. Tally ho. Let's say Toyota. I just noticed that. I guess these are actual pictures, huh? So they just painted over the actual pictures and didn't care about brand names and stuff. I guess it doesn't really matter unless Toyota has a problem with it. Angel Mort had decidedly different feel to it compared to yesterday. So, real quick, something popped into my mind that I was kind of thinking about. So that piece of information right there is interesting, where Mion called Rena crying, and the reason why that's interesting is because they might be the same person now. Hold on. So I know I've been saying that I want them to be different people, but maybe they are, but different. Maybe they are the same people, but they're different people at the same time. I know it. Bear with me. So maybe Shion. Yeah, but see, how would that work? I don't know the rules. I don't know the rules of the demons. I'm thinking that Shion is probably Mion, but not demonized. But then why would the demon allow her to become Shion whenever she's Shion? And that's why whenever I ask Mion about things, she looks confused. Because she doesn't... Because the demon form of Mion doesn't understand. And then Shion, like, comes out sometimes. Maybe it's, like, forced. I don't know. Maybe, like, Shion is, like, her alter ego. You know? Angemort had a decidedly different feel to it compared to yesterday. Dessert Festa today. Admittance by reservation only. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But then that wouldn't make any sense to as to why I don't remember the Shion part of Mion. Nonetheless, the front of the store was being swarmed over by a dozen young men. Judging by how they were looking upwards in jealousy instead of entering the store, they weren't invitees. Why would they gather here if they knew they couldn't get in? I found out the answer as soon as I passed through the crowd and began to climb the steps to enter the restaurant.
あんた当選者なのか？チケットを持ってるのか？
ああ、まあな、ラッキーだったんだ。
As soon as I said that, I was immediately mobbed. Like being in the middle of a football scrum on a crowded train. What is going on? The reason was this. It wasn't just one person, one ticket per person. One ticket could let up to 4 people inside.
そうだったのか。ますますレナや他のみんなを誘ってやる。親切にありがとう。でも今の話は聞かなかったことにするよ。
With an uplifting smile, I turned and ignored them. When I did, the arms all reached out at me at once, like the souls of the damned seeking succor.
その4名様までのお供にぜひ俺たちを
What selfish people? You're being selfish by not letting people in. This, I guess that they were crowded, so it's kind of weird that they would. I understand the statement. Dozens of wretched arms reached out for me like teeth on a giant rake and gasped for the air, or grasped at the air. I was already climbing the stairs to the entrance.
なんて身軽なやつ。取り押さえろ。
This isn't something to joke about. I flew up the rest of the stairs and threw myself inside the restaurant. It was like I had entered a different world. A miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me. Miserable throng of the damned hurled curses at me. Jesus. From the other side of the glass door. But inside of this completely soundproofed and air-conditioned restaurant, the angelic smile of a waitress to welcome me. There were nothing but... Why can't I read today? There were nothing more than a refreshing piece of scenery. I knew that I shouldn't laugh, but I began to let out a sinister cackle.
いらっしゃいませ。エンジェルモートへ。本日はデザートフェスタにつき、チケットのお客様のみの貸し切りになっております。チケットとご報名をお伺いしてもよろしいでしょうか。
チケットはないけど、名簿に名前があると思います。前原です。
前原。あった。失礼ですが、フルネームでお伺いしてよろしいですか？
圭一です。前原圭一。
大変失礼いたしました。特別招待の前原圭一様ですね。お席へご案内いたします。どうぞこちらへ。
The mood inside the room was incredibly heated. The booths were packed to the brim. Men in their prime were stuffing their faces with dainty desserts that didn't suit them at all. It was a rather unnerving spectacle. Soon after I was shown to my seat, Shion arrived.
いらっしゃいませ。ようこそエンジェルモートへ。
よーしよ。今日は本当にありがとうな。世話になりに来たぜ。
ちょっと遅かったから心配しました。でも来てくれて嬉しいです。
May have been because the other customers around that her tone was less casual, but she still caped off that welcome with her usual brilliant smile.
見ての通り、 今日はお客さんがすっごいんで、定時に抜けさせてもらえるかちょっと自信がないんです。私の仕事が終わるまでのんびりしててくださいね。終わったら一緒に遊びに行きましょうね。
Oh damn. Oh damn, that is a statement if I've ever heard one. That's how you know you're in right there. When I'm done, let's go play. If a girl says that to you and she's like in high school, oh my goodness. Maybe it was because of the mood in the restaurant. Well, I guess you don't know. I guess you don't really know what ages they are, do you? Like, they don't specifically mention the ages. They talk about how it's a school that like has every class in one school, but they don't talk about like. That's interesting. Unless they did and I just missed it. Even a small change in her mannerisms was enough to set my heart aflutter.
お待たせしました。
While I was overwhelmed by the atmosphere inside the restaurant, orders from the new summer menu were carried out one after another. Every single one was extravagantly huge. I get it. Getting all of these amazing things for free. No wonder a ticket was worth its weight in gold. On top of that, all of it was plenty delicious. From dishes with a general appeal to insane ones aimed at a specific audience, there were absolutely no gaps in their repertoire.
どう考えても一人で食う量じゃないかもしれないな。まあそれは置いておいて。
It didn't feel relaxing in here at all. Probably because of the fervor inside the restaurant was clearly abnormal. All the other booth seats were crammed with groups of 4. Sleazy men were gorging like pigs on cutely decorated desserts, and it wouldn't have been a surprise if they started licking the plates. It was more than a little unsettling. It piqued my interest, so I started listening in on their conversation. And what things I heard.
エンジェルモード萌え。
僕ですか。当選チケットは秘密ルートから7万で購入したつ。
For some reason, that voice reminds me of Weevil from Yu-Gi-Oh!
職場には親戚の葬式だと言ったにゃりよ。
What are these voice actors?
エンジェルは制服が最高にゃり。
ウェイトレスさん、水とかズボンにこうしてふきふきとかしてくれないかにゃー。にゃーにゃー。エンジェルモートのフィギュアが今度発売されるらしいでござるな。
My friends would slap the shit out of me if they heard me talking like this. They used to sell Angel Mart uniforms on the 4th floor of the Redacted and Akiba, but they's cost 28,000. 'Tis an absurd price. Animal cost 80,000 when Broba closed down. The going rate for theirs was 12,000. That's the price for used ones. Knockoffs are less than half that. Knockoff from Redacted is fine with me. I wonder if they'll start selling them. Then I'll put it on my life-size figure I did buy off of Redacted for several hundred thousand. If I can wake up every day to an angel from Angel, that'll really get my gears going. Words spilling out of their mouths were pretty much all incomprehensible jargon, but they still keenly conveyed that hidden behind them was an invisible aura of abnormality.
お待たせしました。次のデザートは南国風シナモンのアバンチュールでございます。どうかなさいましたか？
あ、いえ。なんかこう今日の店内は雰囲気が違うなと。
うちのお店、その道の方々にはかなり有名らしいんです。まあそういう狙いのお店ですからいいんですけどね。でもイベントの日のお客様はちょっと濃いめの方が多いんで困っちゃいます。
The waitress informed me quietly with a wry
な
smile.
んかお客の人たちも血走っててハイエナみたいですよ。今日のお客さんのほとんどはかなり遠方から無理してきてるみたいですからね。 そういう方々って羽目を外しやすいんでちょっと怖いんです。ちゃんとガードを固めておかないと大変なんですから。
What did she mean by keep your guard up? What the Was it Shion? Yeah, okay. Hold on.
すみませんでした。そのお召し物は
なんてことするにゃり。もうジーンズ専門店で1800円もしたズボンが生クリームでベトベトにゃりよ。
I would laugh my ass off if I heard this voice. What the hell is that? For somebody who just met with disaster, he seems awfully happy.
これはひどいですにょ。ウェイトレスさんが誠心誠意ふきするしかないでござるにょ。
Wipey, get the F out of my life, dude. This conversation veered off in an odd direction. What did he say? Wipey? Did he want Shion to wipe him down? Right over that, obviously, aberrant. I've seen that word before. I just don't know how to say it. Aberrant tent he had pitched over his crotch.
でもその私
ふき
I would sock this man so hard in the face. Oh my god. The wipey chant quickly spread throughout the room. Oh, I would not do well here. Completely cornered, Shion went pale. She looked over to a more experienced waitress for help, but was only met with a head shaking out of pity.
園崎さん、足を引っ掛けられたんですね。ああやってわざと衣服を汚させて絡んでくるお客が最近多いんですよ。
足を引っ掛けてた。じゃあ今のあれも事故じゃなくて恋？
メインの女の子は十分気をつけてますから絶対ああはならないんですけど、その今日のお客様たちにも早々に見破られちゃったみたいで、朝からあんな感じで絡まれてるんです。
店長とかは何やってんだよ。あんな不良な客は追い出せよ。
We're in the service industry, so there's not much we can do about it. She laughed as she said in that resigned tone. Shion trembled uncontrollably with a dishcloth in her hand as she turned bright red. The man who had been doused in frosting splayed out on the bench, putting the ice cream covered tent over his crotch on full display. Still mentally unprepared, her trembling hand inched forward, goaded on by onlookers.
さあふきするでござるよ。
Wipey just pisses me the F off. I don't know why. I don't know why that pisses me off, but it just does. No one says that. Get out of here with that. From the male point of view, it might have been a ridiculous spectacle I could just smile wryly at, but from a woman's point of view, this was obviously pure humiliation. I think it's pure humiliation either way. I don't know. Oh shit, what's happening? Oh, okay. When I was traveling here, Shion fearlessly stood up to them and saved me. Though as humiliating as it was, Shion was also partly to blame for this, and it wasn't as though her life was at stake, right? Even these guys, they were just going to jeer at her in a bit of a lewd situation. It's not like they were going to eat Shion alive or anything. It'd be alright if I just consoled her afterwards.
私だって怖かったですよ。でも他ならぬケイちゃんのピンチだし、勇気出して頑張りましたってことです。
When I, a man, was being assailed by 3 thugs while paralyzed with fear, Shion saved me without a second thought. What about now? These sleazy, filthy degenerates were trying to pin the blame on Shion. This time our roles were reversed. Hey Keiichi Maebara, if you don't save her now, when will you be able to repay the debt you owe her? You scared, Keiichi Maebara? At that time, Shion, no Mion, didn't even show a hint of hesitation. What about now? I'm not hesitating. And what? This is weird. Like, I don't know if I have these conversations with myself. Maybe I do. Sometimes, I guess. Like, are you scared, Tuba? Nah, I'm not scared. Then why? I don't know if I say that to myself. If you're not hesitating, then why aren't you helping her? Yeah, go help her, dude.
さあ観念するでござる。ほほほ。
Whoa. I punch this
やか
man.
ましいぞ重量オーバ
Oh, I don't know if you should go that
ー
far.
俺の目が黒いうちに出て失せろ
I grasped Shion's shoulder firmly and pulled her behind me.
ケイちゃん
分かっておらんでござるな。そのスタッフが世のオズボに粗相したのでござるよ。
Yonder waitress was the one who wet mine pants.
これはお仕置きなのでござる。
Oh my god.
仕置きが必要なのは
The one who
てめ
needs
えの方だ
yeah.
男なら能書き吐くな
Please punch him.
腕で物を言ってみろ
Don't let him punch you. My body was lifted into the air like nothing, and I was thrown right back into my own seat. Guy's strong. No matter how you look at it, athletic and Miss Lardo aren't even in the same code, area code.
オタクは意外にマイナーな武道を得得していることが多いでござるから甘く見ると大変でござるよ。
Man smirked, showing off his gum line.
ケイちゃん大丈夫
Damn it, how lame must I look right now? Well, at least throw him out of the restaurant for hitting me.
シオンは足を引っ掛けられたんだろう向こうが悪いんだから突き上がらせることなんかないぞ
そうだけどでもやっぱり悪いのは
もう一度だ行くぞ
Alright.
これくらいでへこたれるケイチ様だと思うなよもう一度だ
ほほほ。口ほどにもないでござるの。
まだまだ
Rise my will to fight. Not just running, I planted every one of those steps firmly as I closed the distance to the lard wall. Every time I ripped my foot off the floor, I could feel my burning spirit flare up from the point of impact. You would think I would be kicked out at some point. Everything slowed down like I was walking underwater. As I stepped forward in that vicious flow of time, I calmly measured up the gap between us. With our difference in height, my reach was my ultimate advantage. There was an ever so tiny distance between us where only my punch would be able to reach. I unleashed an iron fist of righteous anger, but it flew towards his face slowly like I was punching underwater. Reacting to that with a smirk on his face, the fatso easily slipped inside of my punch. I hadn't realized it until now, but in this mired time I was able to observe his baffling counterattack with almost painful clarity. His arms slowly swung around in a large windmill motion, wrapped around my whiff punch, and descended in an arc. That arm swung around like the arms of a clock, and came into contact with my head, twisting my upper body around. Dragging my head along, he followed through with another rotation. This time he rotated with his entire body like a top, followed by another rotation. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Combining defense and offense, it was a brilliant counter. Right, 3 times. I was thrown after 3 rotations, I think. In this vicious region of time, I was unable to struggle, and I could only wait dumbstruck until the moment I was thrown. The moment I was, that sluggish temporal anomaly abruptly ended. Didn't he be thrown out of the restaurant? Like, if I haven't landed a single punch, but he's punched me 1,000 times, shouldn't I be, like, thrown out?
修行が足りないでござるよ。
Or shouldn't he be thrown out?
ヤングメン。
I was loath to admit it, but against somebody trained in martial arts, I couldn't win through force of will alone. After my consciousness faded in a wave of dizziness, when I came to, I was lying down in my own seat.
怪我しなくてよかったですね。
The more experienced waitress from before wiped the sweat from my brow with a towel. While she was doing that, a red-faced and teary-eyed Shion trudged over.
大丈夫ですか？私なんかのために。すみませんでした。
俺こそ役に立たなくてすまん。俺喧嘩って勝ったことないし。
私のために助けに来てくれただけで嬉しかったです。本当ですよ。それだけでも今日はケイちゃんに来てもらえてよかったかなって。
As she said that, she stuck out her tongue teasingly. She wiped off the whipped cream with the washcloth she was holding in her hand.
園崎さん、R 入ってもいいですよ。あと 1,2 時間でしょ。あ、いいんです。バイトとはいえお給料もらってる身ですから、時間内はちゃんと働きたいんです。だから本当お気遣いなく。
I couldn't even put up a brave front. I would never even think for a second that Mion could be that weak. This was Shion, and she had been harassed by some unreasonable riffraff. That was
ケ
reality.
イちゃんは気にしないでデザートいっぱい食べててくださいね。一通り食べ終わったらアンケートを書いてもらいますので、じゃあ私ホールに戻りますね。
After some consoling words and a sympathetic smile to Shion, the other waitress started to head back to work. That's where I stopped her.
すみません、ウェイト電話借りたいんですけど。
電話ですか？レジ横にございますよ。ご案内いたします。
Pulled the 10 yen coin from my wallet. It wasn't about saving face. My being a worthless coward was an unchangeable fact, but I could just cry myself to sleep about that later tonight. Now was not the time for tears. I had to
確
fight.
かチケット1枚で4人まで OK なんですよね。あと3人呼んでもいいんですよね。
ええ、そうですけど一応名簿に書きますので、お名前を伺ってもよろしいですか？
Who's coming? There are 3 things that aren't working in your favor today, punk. First is that I owe Shion. Second is that I'm a man who's not afraid to throw away his pride to win. And third is that we're the most powerful club members in history. You're gonna invite Rena? Get Rena out of
名簿
here.
には竜宮レナ、それから北条聡子、
Uh,
古出理香で。
かしこまりました。受けたまわります。
I'll have the best and most powerful club members join the fray. Is that a good idea? No, that's not a good idea.
いいお店だね。はう、制服かいい。レナも来たい。はう。しかもデザートまでおごってもらえるなんて僕は大感激なのです。
ああ、好きなだけ食ってくれ。俺の分なんか気にするな。
ケイチさん、茶番は結構でございますのよ。要件に入ってほしいですわ。
Ren and Rika-chan put down their forks when Satoko broached the subject. After looking at them for a few moments, I pressed my forehead firmly into the table.
頼む。俺の不甲斐なさを笑ってもいい。力を貸してくれ。
Three of them seemed surprised by the sudden turn of events, but nevertheless listened to what I had to say without making fun of my unusual behavior.
どうしたのかな？何があったんだろう、太郎。
実はミオンの妹のシオンがこの店でバイト中なんだ。
ああ、話に聞いてたみーちゃんの妹さんだ。ひょっとしてあれかな？あれかな？似てるね、似てるね。似てるも何も髪を下ろしただけの本人ではありませんの？
I didn't know what to say.
ケイイチがシオンだと言うからシオンなのですよ。いくら双子だって あんなにうり二つになるもんなんですの？
Well, does
知
Mion
らん
have
せん
that
ソーセー
shit?
ジって言ってね。
Wait, didn't freaking Shion get hit by like a chair or something? Or something like that? She got hit by something with under her cheek.
本当にそっくりの双子ってこともあるんだって。
Because of the rebellion or whatever, the fight. So if Mion doesn't have that, then we can immediately solve this. They're called monozen, and they can look really identical. I'm not gonna give the most plausible explanation, so everybody else was convinced.
納得してもらえたかな。それで本題だ。
Recounted everything that had just happened. How Shion was targeted and antagonized by the customers, and the humiliation was forced upon her. Also, how incredibly pathetic I was. I included everything without trying to hide it.
それはひどいね。しーちゃんかわいそう。しかし、それを助けられないなんて、みっともないにも程がありますわよ。
Nothing I can say to that.
さとこちゃん、負けを認めて助けを求めるのって、とっても難しいことなの。ケイチくんは変なプライドなんかより、しーちゃんを助けることを選んだんだよ。ふん、情けないですこと。
I like Satoko. Retta's follow-up stung a bit, but I could only be thankful that she understood. Satoko was calling me all sorts of names, but there was no malign intentions to her words.
で、僕たちは何をするですか？
Her voice was monotone, but there was a hint of resolve in her words. I replied to Rika-chan's suggestive silence and kind with my own quiet resolve.
まあ、そんなところだと思ってましたわ。ケイチさん一人には少々荷が重すぎますもの。
じゃあ助けて。
当然だよ、ケイチくん。私たちは誰がいじめられても助けに行くよ。
I remembered I was cornered by those thugs, but Shion had said the strong feeling of solidarity and Hinamizawa really began to hit home. However, Keiichi Maebara, now is not the time to get choked up with the tears of gratitude. Now is the time to fight.
恩に切る。
一人で頑張ったけど、歯が立たなくてかわいそうかわいそうです。
Rika-chan gently pat my head for me. There was no mindless pity in the palm of that hand. It was overflowing with strong, dependable feeling of leave the rest to us.
もろもろの都合によりミオンは参戦できないので、臨時に俺が指揮を執る。作戦内容はシオンの護衛と敵勢力の殲滅。
敵って誰かな？いっぱいいるのかな？
現時刻以降、シオンにちょっかいを出そうとする全個人、全勢力を敵と認める。当選規定はなし。報酬は今食ったデザート。質問はあるか？
Everybody had already entered club mode, their eyes peering at the riffraff, clamoring around inside the restaurant like predators stalking their prey from the darkness. Rika-chan held up her
なん
hand.
だい、リカちゃん。
手加減は必要ですか？
Alright. Like, I like Satoko a lot, but that line is really good.
不要に決まってますわ。
See?
ミオさんの妹に狼藉を働く輩に手加減なんか不
I
要
just
です
like
な。
that question. Do we have to show mercy? I should
い
use
いんで
that.
すね、ケイチ。
Rika-chan was serious. She was really ready to pretty much murder someone. I'm counting on you, Rika-chan.
全責任は俺、前原圭一が取る。
And before Rika-chan actually murders
蹴
somebody.
散らしてやれ。
よーし、レナも頑張るぞ。
すまん、よろしく頼む。
ケイチさん、そんなに力まなくても大丈夫。まあ、ご覧遊ばせ。ケイチさんがそのパフェを食べ終わる頃にはお掃除は終わってまして。ではみんな頑張りましょうですよ。ファイト、おーです。
Thus, the most powerful war band in the world had ever known, trained by Mion, began to move. I was the oldest, the only boy, and behaved like a leader. But when you consider our club activities, I was by far the most junior member. Individually, everyone besides me had terrifying combat abilities. If all of them combined their strengths to protect Shion, I couldn't even imagine. I was about to witness something terrible and awe-inspiring.
園崎さん、7番テーブルにデラックスパフェを5つお願いします。あ、はい。
Carry the order out of the table. For Shion to carry 5 parfaits without wobbling took so much effort that she didn't have the breathing room to pay attention to her feet.
どうしよう、また来たでござるよ。
今度はミーのおズボンにぶっかけさせて一層念入りにふきふきしてもらうにより。
It was the same Wipey scheme that had just occurred a short time earlier. I really hate that. I have no idea why it triggers me so much, but Wipey man, that is, oh my god, no one says that. This time, another triumph for themselves. The very depravity of these men was itself a full-out attack.
ケイイチよりレナへ。5、6番テーブル付近で待ち伏せだ。レナ、聞こえてるか？
お店の制服かわいいね。はう、お持ち帰り。
Shion, her bottom swaying while carrying the parfaits, was being chased by an equally swaying Rena. She was supposed to be escorting Shion, but Rena was instead transfixed by the back of her uniform. From a normal person's point of view, it was probably like having a fox guard a henhouse, but when it comes to Rena, things are different.
怪異状態。シンクロ率 120%。勝ったな。
あの状態のレナさんには地球上のどんな物理法則も通用しませんわ。
Shion's legs, unsteady and defenseless, were being targeted by those sleazebags. What the f... Hail Mane Furher, shining Lucifer of the Harumi Mecha? A leg sneaked out to trip Shion's defenseless feet. Egads, 3 of them at once. Happened in an instant. The 3 fools writhed in pain as their legs bent at unnatural angles. Jesus Christ. Shouldn't we... Where's the manager? Like, that right there should be grounds for kicking out. If you break someone's leg, like that's a problem. Rena teetered into view and gave them a warning.
おいたはダメなんだよ。メだよ、メ。レナがお持ち帰りするから、メ。
この小娘、珍妙な技を。
The human scum clutched their bruised ankles as they passed out.
さすがはレナさん。いつ見ても恐ろしいキレですわね。
ああ、絶対的なガードだ。半径2メートル以内で行われるシオンへのあらゆる攻撃をレナは完全なカウンターで粉砕する。
Shion was making her rounds to the restaurant. There were people here and there with collapsing welts on their hands and on their legs and hands.
はう、レナよりケイチ君へ。もうしーちゃんにちょっかい出す人はいないよ。だからもうお持ち帰り。
ケイイチよりレナへ。ご苦労だった。引き続き護衛を続けてくれ。それからお持ち帰りは不可。繰り返す。お持ち帰りは不可。
じゃあ見てるだけだよ。見てるだけ。
I guess just looking is fine. Then that wouldn't prevent her from guarding Shion, so I guess it's okay. Anyway, thanks to this, I knew who tried to mess with Shion. Anybody who was clutching their arm or leg while writhing in agony was basically branded by their bruises.
現時刻をもって敵勢力識別を完了。次のフェーズへ移行する。ケイイチよりサトコへ。そっちはどうなってる？
Do we have walkie-talkies?
さとこですわよ。どうなってるとはひどい言い方でございますわね。
That's a rude way to ask.
私を誰だと思っておいでですの？
Toko was in the kitchen. She had spread open a sketch of the restaurant on the counter, replete with order chits and their destinations. Oh, okay. and was now sorting through freshly made desserts.
ちょっとさっきから何をしてるの？まあまあ、園崎さん、いいからいいから。それよりもこのオーダー全部一度に行くからお願いね。
Veteran Regis was briskly directing her juniors as the trays went out one after another. All the desserts that had passed through Satoko's hands were delivered at once.
かわいいデザートがいっぱい来たよ。
分かってるだろうが、手をつけるなよ。自分の身が大事なら。
わかってるけど。
Certainly, they were all incredibly cute-looking desserts. They're all works of art that you could enjoy before even taking your first bite. However, since Satoko had meddled with them, they were nothing more than an unpredictable danger. Blissfully ignorant of the fact that fact were the men now stuffing their faces. Almost right away, they realized something was wrong.
サトコ、何を混ぜた？塩やタバスコってわけじゃないだろ。
あら、ケイチさんが言ったんですね。手加減無用って。私、こう見えても叩くときは徹底的に叩く性分でございますの。
When she said that, she twirled a dubious file in her fingers before putting it away smartly into her pouch.
サトコより理解。お客様が行きますわよ。エスコートお願いしますわ。僕にお任せなのです。
Come to think of it, I didn't see Rika-chan anywhere. Where could she be lurking? Clatter. Several men stood up and suddenly from their seats, surveying the restaurant for something. That restless fidgeting, that look of relief when they found the single place card hanging from the ceiling. Oh, so like laxatives? A mad rush in that direction. It wasn't just one or two people. All the people that were branded as the enemy were standing up from their seats while clutching their stomachs.
さすがにがっつきすぎたでござるよ。お手洗いは
僕もにゃりオープンでなくクローズドの方でござる。
Not a Nyamba 1, but a Nyamba 2. I will murder you, dude.
今日リプレイ外しにゃり。
Oh my god.
おトイレはどこにゃ？見つけたにゃ。緊急発進スクランブルにゃ。
About 30 just thinking about what Satoko probably did to the desserts. The problem was how to follow this up. I was intrigued, so I followed the rush of men to the washroom. The narrow hallway connecting the restroom was crammed with about 10 men.
なんとしたことでござるか。
I peered over to see what was happening. Whoa. It seemed that the toilet was clogged and backflowing, unleashing a loud gurgling sound and a terrible stench? There's no way to use it in this state. Damn that Satoko, what a frightening display of power. No, this wasn't Satoko's doing. It was divine punishment. Yeah, they were just unlucky. I'll just apologetically ask one of the employees here to clean it up.
これでは尿が出せぬでござる。
どうしたものにゃりんか。毎度し。
It was a brilliant combination of traps, but it would be better if there was one more push to the kicker. Seeing as it was Satoko, she wouldn't have overlooked that.
こうなっては最後の手段に。
Faced with a moral dilemma, the woman's restroom.
さすがに女子トイレはまずいでござるか。
Is that where Rika-chan's gonna come in, and then they're all gonna get arrested?
今日のお客さんに女子はいないにゃりん。コロンブスの卵でにゃりん。はあはあ、背に腹は変えられぬ。
Raisin punched the eye of the men. Sweat now pouring from their brows made a mad rush to the girls' room without any hesitation.
Me?
There was a girl in there. It was Rika-chan. The men stood there and frozen in various complicated poses, indicating their surprise. Rika-chan also seemed dumbfounded by the sudden turn of events. But the look on her face was strangely perfect. This was all part of the plan as well. You sly dog, Rika-chan. I could never underestimate you.
これはでござるな。まだ待て。
みー、
男子便所がちょっとデンジャラスにゃので、ちょっとおトイレをお借りしたかっただけなのにゃ。にゃー。
み
でもやっぱりいけないことでござるよな。どうし諸君。
Just by having a girl stand there in the restroom, I never knew it could put up such an overwhelming barrier. There was no way anybody could be brave enough to lift Rika-chan out of the way and do their business. It was the most they could do after all. If it were a man in full club mode, for example, someone like me, they would plow through Rika-chan without a second thought. And what are you gonna do, you fat asses? The price for tormenting Shion still hasn't been
お
paid.
困りなら僕が助けてあげてもいいの。
かたじけどござる。してその方法は。
お外のトイレを使えばいいのです。ご案内しますですよ。
それは助かるにゃりん。さあこのままじゃ集団って不幸満状態にゃりん。
Rika, with a pleasant smile on her face, guided them with a casual stride in her step. In this race against time, her slow pace was sadistic torture.
マドマーゼル、そのトイレはここから遠いでござるか。
すぐに着きますです。
Obeying Rika-chan's directions, they were about to leave the restaurant.
ケイチ君、締めだよ。ビシッと言ってね。
おうよ、任せておけ。
I spread my arms out and blocked them as they tried to leave the restaurant.
なんのまねでござるか。このでっかワンの非常時に。
Isn't it
悪人ども。
now? I'm not like an expert on the DEF CONs, but isn't DEF CON 5 the hardest DEF CON and DEF CON 1 is like beginning, or is it the other way around? I actually
こ
don't
の
know.
扉から一歩外へ出ることがどういうことになるか分かってるんだろうな。
それはどういう意味にゃ。
ほら、チケットに書いてあるよ。途中退店無効って。どこのおトイレに行くのも自由でございますがね。その扉を一歩でも外へ出たなら二度と戻れませんのよ。
覚えてろ。
そんな怖いこと言う人たちを案内したくないのです。
Everybody panicked as Rika-chan began to turn back. They could only figuratively and literally fall in line. All the waitresses also lined up to see them off.
本日はご来店。
愛しゃるリターン。
The bell rang playfully as the door shut behind them.
そうまあないですわね。爆笑の極みでしたよ。やったね。
Rena and Satoko clapped their hands together.
俺一人じゃ歯が立たねえ連中もメンバー総登場なら。
この程度の相手なら私たちなら一人でもお相手。圭一さんも少しは腕をお磨き遊ばせ。
I was loath to admit it, but Satoko was right. Damn it. One day I'll be strong enough to be worthy to stand alongside
でも
them.
みーちゃんの妹さんを守れて本当にもうこれでいたずらする悪い人たちは一人もいなくなったよ。素敵な友人に恵まれたわね、園崎さん。
Veteran waitress. Wait, the veteran waitress is okay with us driving away all the people? After the herd was sent packing, it had calmed down completely inside the restaurant. Shion was flustered as she glanced between us and the now empty seats.
私のためにその
Shion's expression was somewhere between happy and guilt-ridden. Her face had turned slightly red as she ran into the kitchen.
わあ、しーちゃんもかわいい。双子なんだね。はう。
Given Shion's personality, there's no way she'd thank us directly. We might have been a bit excessive in our means, but I'm really glad we were able to save
分
her.
かってると思いますけど、園崎さん、とても感謝してますよ。私もホールを代表して感謝いたします。
Clap, clap. Jesus Christ. They must have been real, like, thugs, huh? Everybody hated them? Not only the other waitresses, but also the customers there were genuinely there, who were there to genuinely enjoy the desserts. Everyone was applauding. Was lauding our efforts? Is lauding a word? Alright, I don't know how close we are to halfway, but I don't want to make this go over an hour. I like it at 50. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here, and I might throw things off for the next episode, but who knows, maybe it's the second half is always kind of shorter than the first half, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has kind of been like a filler episode, or I would consider it a filler episode. There were some things in the beginning where they were talking about how Mi-chan was crying, which makes me think that maybe Shion is evil or something, and that Mion's trapped, so she can't say anything to me because she might die or something. I don't know. Or like, or they're just different people. I really want Shion to be like a different thing. Although they're making her seem really innocent right now, which makes me think that maybe they, to like twist it up, they give her an alternate personality. It was my original opinion when I started this that something was going to happen to Shion, but now it's slowly becoming like Mion maybe knows something that I don't, and about Shion. Maybe that's like Mion's true self, but it can only come out during certain times, and like that's why she's crying to Rena, because she doesn't want to do that shit. But Rena's a demon, so like why would she be crying to Rena? Unless she doesn't know that Rena's a demon, and then like there's so much things that I don't know the rules of that I have to figure it out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this, please hit the like button. It really helps me out. Also subscribe if you haven't done so already. We plan to finish this game as well as some other visual novels in the future if you're interested. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode of this. Peace out, you guys.